Thank you, everyone, for joining us on a Wednesday afternoon. I am really excited today to talk to you guys about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about the movement today. We've got a few things that we're going to be giving away. We're going to be introducing you to Josh and Shannon out of Missouri with their new organization called Adventuring the Ozarks, to where they have now solved, their first missing persons case out of Missouri with their new organization. I'll turn this little volume down here. I don't know what's going on there. I got to feedback on my own here. Oh, shoot. That's not going to work out very good. So bear with me as I fix this, guys. I'm sorry. That's not going to work out very good. I honestly no longer know how I'm going to do this, because I've got Josh and Shannon that are having audio issues. I've got reverb and feedback here for some reason. I have no idea. So we're going to see what we can do to get this working properly. Let's see here. Josh and Shannon, are you guys on your phone, or are you guys on... This was supposed to be so clean for everybody. Let me just kind of dive into it and just see if we can make this work properly. So I'm going to be introducing you to Josh and Shannon in just a moment from Adventuring the Ozarks. Chaos Divers, as well as our team, met up with them working the Donnie Irwin case. The second time we went back, you guys have not yet seen that story on our return to the Ozarks. Anyway, where we're going with that one is, with the Josh and Shannon jumping into this, they have now solved their first case just a few days after we left them. So we're going to kind of talk about their involvement in the AWP movement, why they decided to get started, and what some of their plans are. And really, I want to go into a lot of, best practices. If you are going to get out there and be boots on the ground, what are some of the things that work? If you are going to be putting, your stories on YouTube, what are some of the best practices there? In working with law enforcement, what are some of the best practices? And, really just the entire AWP movement and the best way to, represent yourself and being out there. So with that, I would like to go ahead and just jump into it and introduce you to Josh and Shannon. So let me unmute them. And again, like I said, we've got audio issues going on everywhere today for some reason. So Josh and Shannon, introduce yourselves. How about it?
Introduce yourselves. How about it? We actually found Jared's videos last December when you guys Samantha Hopper and Russell. And ever since then, we talked about it, and about January 22nd, we decided to start a channel and get involved. Nobody else has ever kind of sparked this interest or passion in us before, so that's why we're here. And like Jared said, probably about a week after, maybe a week and a half after we left them in Camdenton, Missouri, we ended up finding Larry Galloway in the river. So this has been our journey so far, and it's been an interesting one so far.
Good. I think all the reverb. Let me start this. Let me see. I think all the reverb is now out of the entire system, so I think we're going to be okay with the chat. Actually, it is not. All right, I may have to just drop you guys on this one. I really apologize, because I'm getting so much feedback and reverb on this one that I really wanted to include you. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave you here on screen. We'll talk about it, and I won't be able to include you as much as I wanted to. Hold on, Carson's calling me with a solution on this one. What up?
Is everything okay?
No, it's terrible. Yeah, I need a lot of help, Carson. Like, this entire thing is like not going the way I need it to. You're on live right now. So I appreciate the 5,600 people that are watching this chaotic mess right now.
Listen, we will upgrade our live streams here pretty soon, and we are switching over to OBS. We just have to fine tune it, and it will be perfect. No more issues. But right now, everyone, please bear with. This will be one of the few last live streams that it's just chaotic like this. Thank you guys for bearing with. Okay, so you have reverb issues. What's going on, bud?
Well, I don't have time to talk to you, so I'm just going to make this live stream nice and short. We're going to talk about how amazing Josh and Shannon are. We're going to make sure that people right now head over to their YouTube channel as well and support them. Their link is in the description, and as well as some of the mods, if you can drop their information in the chat as well. I have a few things to give away as well. So Carson, I'm going to drop you right now, and then
okay, sounds good.
Yes, and then as far as Josh and Shannon, can you guys call me on my phone? I'm just going to drop you from the entire screen here. Call me on the phone so that way we at least have audio on you guys and we can have a clean discussion.
Okay, good luck, Jared.
All right, thanks,
Bye-bye.
Carson. All right, bye. All right, so we're dropping Josh and Shannon there. Then we're going to answer the phone. Bye, guys. All right. All right. In the meantime, let's give away a shirt real quick. Just real quick. Just do like a hashtag give me a shirt right now in the live stream comment section. I've got a what's your purpose shirt. We'll give that away as we are waiting for Josh and Shannon to give me a quick call. So hashtag give me a shirt or hashtag what's your purpose. Either one works. Doesn't matter. Later on also, we will also be giving away an entire magnet kit. Josh and Shannon.
Hey.
All right, that's a lot better. I got you back here, so appreciate everybody bearing with us. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into this real quick. So I want to go over the case of Larry Galloway, age 45. You ended up finding him. Let me jump over this slide right here. Father. Do we know anything about him? And I guess the entire thing is you found a vehicle underwater just a few days after you and I were together. The vehicle wasn't very deep. I mean, you could actually see it from the surface. I'll go over to that slide right here. So the vehicle was only, 18 inches underwater. Kind of tell us, tell us about the day, and how the entire thing unfolded and what you know of, Rodney and Larry and how this whole thing took place.
All right. So the day started out because we had been going over cases and just it's an exhausting process, you guys know. But we just honestly took a day out to go fishing and not look for anybody or do anything like that. So we went over to the train bridge and did some fishing under there, which was unsuccessful. So we decided to bring it on in and call it a day. And on the way back in, that's when we noticed the vehicle. And the odd thing about it was that we already hit, or there was already like 4 or 5 guys that had come in before us and gotten their boats and went out and then came back and left because they weren't there when we got back to the boat there. So we know that people had already passed over it and not made a call or anything. So that was really concerning to us. So we decided to turn on the camera and take footage of what we were seeing.
And so with this, and so like you said, I mean, you didn't even need sonar on this. It's just the mere fact that, you guys were heading out to, for the movement of, hey, we're going to start looking for lost loved ones. We're going to start looking for vehicles. We're going to start understanding how our sonar works. And boom, right out of the gate, here's this vehicle underwater.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally just like that. Boom, there it was. So we threw a magnet on it so that way we could stay around it, and called the local sheriff's department and had them come out, talked with them a little bit, and they actually told us that they weren't going to recover it until tomorrow and that we could go ahead and leave. So after we left, it just kept eating at us and eating at us. Going, man, there's no way they're going to leave them in there overnight if they think they have somebody in there, which was the reason we were asked to leave. And so we went back, and these are the night pictures that we were able to get by just driving on the bridge. But at that point, we saw coroner vehicles out there, so it was pretty a safe assumption to say that there was somebody in there. We didn't know at that point who it was or what had happened or anything like that.
And so now fast forward, now you're left for the next 2 or 3 days not knowing, and then suddenly in the news it pops up about this Rodney. Kind of go take us down that route.
Well, it was about a week and a half, maybe just shy of 2 weeks. We were in Dallas finishing up a paint job and started digging back in to see if there was any updates. And that's when we found out about Larry Trammell Jr. and everything that he was involved in, that he had murdered in Greene County, I believe it was, and allegedly, and then took him down to the Spring River and dumped his body. And then that's, I guess, a couple days after that is when SWAT activated to his residence. And as they tried to pull him over, he didn't yield, and the chase ensued, and he ended up flipping his vehicle. So as the two lead officers were running up to the vehicle to check on him, he looked at him and pulled his weapon out and basically took his own life right there. So really, really crazy that, we weren't even in Arkansas at that time, and seeing this kind of news in the middle of a job on the road was kind of almost, wow, what, this is insane. This happens in this little bitty little town of Mammoth, and it just doesn't get a lot of action around here.
and so talk to me, this picture right here, is this picture of Larry or is this picture of Rodney?
That's a picture of Larry.
Okay. And so do we know, did Rodney and Larry have a connection? Like what was their relationship? Were they friends? Were they, drug deal gone bad? Wrong place, wrong time? Do we know the reason why Rodney would have, taken Larry out?
We honestly have no idea. We've been waiting for extra information to come in, and now we've talked to a couple local people that may think it'd be drug related. But from what we understand, he was one of 6 that have been found here recently in 2 or 3 different counties, but still in this area. So maybe they're connected. Maybe it was a drug thing gone bad. I don't know. We were just happy to be able to give this family answers.
Yeah, because as I understand it, as some more news stories are coming out this week, as I understand, there's 6 not suspects, but 6 victims now in the area that have been found in the past week in these 2 counties.
Yeah, and we don't know who they are. We've tried to find out who they are, what the involvement was, and we can't find anything. So maybe that information is not available yet.
All right. Okay. Real quick, let me just pause real quick. So our first shirt winner today of What's Your Purpose, Caroline Howell, I put that up on screen. Can you send me an email, support@adventureswithpurpose.com, and I will make sure that we get a What's Your Purpose shirt out to you. We do have a magnet kit and everything that we're going to be giving away in a little bit on this live stream as well. Josh and Shannon, I know that you guys already have a magnet as well as a boat and a motor, and we'll talk about some of your gear and your setup and your starting out and I guess a few things I kind of want to jump into here, is that your involvement. When you went out and you ended up finding Larry, you were actually in the process of helping us and helping out in Lake at the Ozarks, looking for Donnie Irwin. Our team, Adventure with Purpose, as well as Chaos Divers and his team, we have now been in the area twice, working and looking for a missing veteran. He's an amputee. His sister is, has been beside herself looking for him for years. Right now, we do believe that he's underwater because he has made that statement of, you will never find me. And he's made comment to quarries and rivers and lakes, and we just have to find him. We know that he's in the area. And so we really appreciate, your involvement, because, one of the things that I had a live stream just a few weeks ago, and it was really a plea for everyone out there, all of you, to help spread awareness to, whether you can get involved yourselves or, somebody, or you just hear it, or even just simply being here and spreading awareness of our organizations, Adventure with Purpose, Adventuring the Ozarks, Chaos Divers, Exploring with Nug, Britain from Depths of History, Adam Brown Adventures. I know there's a lot that I'm missing. The Georgia River Boys, the Yak Yak Magnet, something or other. There's so many, and it's great watching all of them come up and be a part of all this with us. And before I go, I always go in a million different directions. So anyway, the direction I'm going to take this right now, is the AWP movement and the representation. We have had in the past, some people have come with us and then they quickly start identifying and representing themselves as, hey, I am Adventures with Purpose. I'm out here searching. There's only my team that can represent themselves for legality reasons as Adventures with Purpose. But but AWP is an entire movement. And so, here we have Josh and Shannon here with Adventuring the Ozarks. They are now their own organization that were simply motivated by the AWP movement. So we appreciate, the two of you being here with the AWP movement, and maybe jump in before I go into like best practices, how to best approach a case, working with law enforcement and such, kind of talk to us briefly as to, how and why the two of you decided to get involved and kind of your next steps is, where you're at right now as well.
I think the kicker for us was when we saw the Samantha Hopper recovery down in Russellville, and that kind of hit both of us because that was right there in the backyard, and we were, kind of like we said in our purpose video, we were moved to action. So the fact that Jared was selling boats and all the other things that were available, we decided to jump in and do what we could to be able to bring closure and answers to families that don't have answers, and maybe be a voice for the people who don't have a voice. So we decided to gear up and get out and put boots on the ground and start searching. As far as, any kind of future plans we have, we're looking to be dive certified, hopefully this weekend up at Mermet Springs in Illinois. So the next thing after the certification we'll be looking for is where to get gear, how to get gear, and how to be able to, use it properly and not end up being another case.
Yeah, for sure. And then one thing I want to shout out, Jacob Grubbs over there with Chaos Divers, that's where he ended up getting certified. It was over there at Mermet Springs. They have a lot of good dive training over there, and one of the things that, I want people to be very aware of with me, is that at the end of the day, I am open water certified only. I am not an instructor. I am not here to teach you or coach you. Everybody that comes out with me, I let them know that, you are the diver in command. If you're comfortable with it, do it. But no means are you working underneath of me. I've got, hundreds of dives and I'm comfortable with what I do. We continue to learn from others. Do you necessarily need a certificate that says I can carve pumpkins underwater in order to get to the next level of being able to be a dive master? If that's the route you want to go, I support it 100%. So again, just in life with anything, whatever it is that you decide to become, proficient in, you have to decide what types of trainings you want or need or don't want, but at least, reach out and listen to others and learn from others. And that's, for me, it's just a kind of a common sense that I use of knowing where my own limits are. And there's been some holy crap moments in my diving career as well. But like I said, listen to your instructors. They're amazing. They're going to teach you how to breathe like a fish underwater and, proper buoyancy. And, one of the things is you're going to quickly learn that you're going to kick up silt and sediment like nothing else. It's not, you're not in perfect buoyancy above something looking at pretty fish. You guys are going to be in the water looking at these vehicles, touching, license plates and door handles, and you're going to get silted out, and you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable in that you're going to be in murky environments for most of your diving career. If this is the direction that you guys, stick with and go with, you're not heading down to the Bahamas. So that's a few things to know. A few things I want to point out, right now, I do know that you guys, did end up purchasing a AWP boat. We're no longer selling boats. So you guys were one of the lucky ones. They just became too much of a headache for us. They were too big, my wife can't even park in the garage. And so we had to choose what we were going to get rid of. But anyway, small inflatable boats are perfect. You guys see us use them all the time, and I'm going to continue to use them. They're great for outfitting with, the sonar systems. You guys do have a couple magnets right now. You've got the motor, which in way of motors, for those that are wanting to get into this with the small boats, I suggest a 5 or 6 horsepower motor have been perfect. The 6 horsepower is identical in weight to the 5 horsepowers, whether you go with a Mercury or a Honda or a Tohatsu. They're all great motors. They're going to work out, really good for you. Currently, you've got a 7-inch monitor. Of course, larger monitors are always nice. And so, we'll make sure that, as you grow, the entire AWP movement and those behind us have been incredible. And so, they're going to want to see a track record from you before they start, reaching out to help. They'll help you in spirit, they'll help you in views. And then some are, very kind with opening up their pocketbooks as well. And we appreciate each and every one of you, regardless of what level you're on and here today. Subscribing is free. So subscribe to, Josh and Shannon. There's a link. In fact, if a couple of the mods can throw their link up right now, take a moment right now and head over to their YouTube channel and subscribe to them. You guys are picking up a camper tomorrow, and it sounds like you guys are really going, all in on this. And so we appreciate, and it's great seeing the teams grow, because here's the thing about the cases that with the AWP movement, we work cases where somebody is missing and they're missing with their vehicle. And for us personally, for our AWP team, we choose not to take on the cases that we know are foul play out of the gate. Sometimes we run into cases that, as we're working them, they turn into foul play. Now we have to stop. Or we're also working some cases where it's like, it could be foul play. There's rumors of foul play, but there's no real evidence of foul play. And so the two of you have to learn where your comfort level is going to be in all of this. Are you okay with taking on the foul play cases? For me, I've got a wife and a daughter, and they're like 100%, Jared, stay away from it. I would love to be down in Lake Mead right now, not just chasing the headlines, but, actually making a difference. And if they found 3 barrels now with bodies in them, I think that there's going to be at least, 15, 16, 18 more, in my opinion. However, we don't know who did it. We don't know if they're still alive. And if they killed once or twice or 18 times, listen, I still have some holiday cookies on me, but I think that I can still fit into a 55-gallon drum. And for that reason, we're not going to Lake Mead. So that's where we're at on that one. Have you guys decided, is the foul play something that you guys are willing to, like, you stumbled across this one? It's inevitable. It's going to happen to all of this. But as far as intentionally going after and looking for, I know that, Jacob and Lindsay over at Chaos Divers, they're, they take a look at some of them and they're okay with it. Where are you guys at?
Probably about the same spot that Jacob and Lindsay are. If it's foul play, we don't want to end up being victims, because we found somebody and they were hiding out, and now they've got to spend the rest of their life in prison, and we got to worry about all their buddies coming after us. That's not what we're about. We're not trying to be vigilantes or anything like that. We just, like you said, this one totally came up on us, and it was just there. So, we dealt with it the best way that we knew how. But as far as specifically going after any type of a case like that, I don't think we'll be interested in anything like that.
Yeah, and that's not a problem at all. You just have to learn where it's at. And the thing is, right now, we know of 1,700 cases across the entire U.S. that are not foul play, that meet our criteria of a person and a vehicle that's missing. And we're putting a second team out there on the road this fall. So between the two teams, we're going to be able to work 120 to 150 cases per year. That means that it's going to take us over a decade just to get through those cases that we know of. And there's new cases being added, every single week, every single month, and every single year. And so, the unfortunate side of this is, I don't believe that this is just a U.S. thing. I really do believe that anywhere that there's vehicles and people that drive in water, that it's a, I won't say it's a pandemic, but it's a real issue that takes place around the entire world. And for some reason, that there's been some incredible sonar teams out there, such as, Team Waters and, what's his name up in Idaho? anyway, there's 3, 4, 5 great teams that have been out there just doing sonar, but the AWP movement has really taken it to an entire new level with bringing it to the world, putting it out here on the platforms for others to see, as well as for others to get involved. What's your purpose now? I mean, you guys now have a purpose of, let's go see how many of these we can solve. And so I really appreciate you guys being involved and everybody here getting involved. So I say a lot of so's lately. I don't know why. It's real life. This is live. And if you don't like live streams, don't watch it. Stay tuned for our edited videos. Speaking of edited videos, we do have James Anomaly that just released yesterday for when Doug and Carson, Dylan, and Anthony found James underwater. We do have this live stream that we're doing today, and then Thursday and Friday we have 2 more videos coming out for the recovery of James and the recovery of the SUV. From time to time, we do end up with a few trolls or those that just simply, are unable to read the description, in understanding that if you've been with us for any amount of time, please do understand that all the videos that we ever produce and release are always released to everyone, to the public. However, we do have, some who have chosen to become members and support us financially. We understand that if you can't, it's not a problem. You're still going to get the videos, but you might get them a week or 2 later. And I need you to understand, and please be okay with that, because one of the only ways that we have to, in way of saying thank you to those who have become members, is to provide these videos early. So I appreciate you guys understanding, and those of you who see those comments, please politely just let them know, hey, the video is coming out. It's in in the description. It says exactly when it's coming out. It's going to be out tomorrow. You can see James episode 3 and James episode 4 on Friday. So I appreciate you guys understanding and supporting that. That I'm not making this a pay to play. We're not getting greedy with it. We're just using the platform in a way so that way your help will help us go help more families. So I appreciate you guys understanding that. Let's get into a couple of your additional immediate needs, Josh and Shannon. I know that you guys are heading over to Mermit Springs. Anytime you do dive training, especially with a good facility like Mermit over there, they're going to have the gear available to you, because you're coming into this not knowing what gear you should purchase. And so at this moment in time, I wouldn't suggest you running out and purchase anything. You got Jacob right there that's going to be able to help you guys out. Are you going to become dry suit divers? Are you going to be wetsuit divers? Are you going to go full face? Are you going to go with a mask? I mean, there's so many things, and it's one of these things to where it's a lot of it is finance dependent, of course. And so as you grow and you change out your gear, we're really appreciative to, our members as well for helping us, acquire the gear that we've needed over the years. One of the things that we have on the list this year is a magnetometer. So fingers crossed we'll be able to raise enough funds for that, and we'll be returning to the bridesmaid, which, by the way, we did meet with Linda and her family. Linda is Marty's sister, the missing bridesmaid, and we worked that case on Thursday, the day before we found Ralph Brown on Friday last week. Unfortunately, we have not yet been able to find Marty, the missing bridesmaid, but we do have a few things that this, a magnetometer will be necessary for it, and you'll see that in the video. We also have the Martin family. We also would love to return to Randy Leach. At this moment in time, coming back to what we've learned over the last couple of years is that, okay, there's a lot of speculation that it could be foul play, but do we have solid evidence of it? We don't. So that means that, would we be doing, an injustice if we were to drop it completely? Well, with the new tools, additional tools, we're able to, use this and utilize it. And maybe Randy is in Stranger Creek. Maybe he's just buried under the silt and sediment from the from the floods from over the years, and that we just need to, finish finalizing our search. So that way I can, say, Alberta, I now have exhausted everything to help you out on this one. Right now, I'm not yet to that point. We've just been on a delay acquiring more equipment for that. Kind of in the same fashion where I wasn't ready to, give up on, Ralph Brown yet. With Ralph, we had, it was just eating at us. Same thing with Randy. It's still eating at us that we would love to find Randy. That was kind of long-winded, but that's what I do from time to time. And again, I appreciate, those of you guys watching and listening. Hey, we should, reward somebody for at least sticking around this long so far. We've still got the magnet kit. We'll give that away in a little bit. And here, I'll just kind of show you guys what's in the magnet kit. You guys have one. And how, you guys, I mean, have you guys been out magnet fishing, or so far just the vehicle that you've stuck your magnet to?
I think on the other side of the bridge, one of our first videos was pulling a bumper from, it looked like a Ford, like maybe an old Ford. But I think that's the only video that we have as far as magnet fishing. Everything else that we've done is, just been throwing a magnet in the water and not finding nothing.
Yeah. Well, magnet fishing is definitely a lot of fun. We do have the magnets available on our website as well. And, it's one of the ways that we are able to fund what is we do is with merchandise sales. So we do ask that you guys do support us as well. If you're into magnet fishing, I'm doing like this all by myself over here. So I'm kind of like using my head to hold the top open. Anyway, we do have, some nice big magnets here, and we're going to give this kit away. So this one's going to have a 2,600 pound magnet in it. It's going to have a set of gloves. We'll have the rope with the carabiner. We'll give that away in a little bit. In the meantime, before we go down more of the best practices, let's give away another shirt. Let's do with the hashtag Adventuring the Ozarks. So do that, and I'm going to pick somebody in just a moment on that one. So do hashtag Adventuring the Ozarks. And as soon as you do that, be sure to go in the description, or if a mod can post their link, but go over to their YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe to them, because, they're jumping in, and give it their all to go out there and see if they can find Donnie, and they're going to work some additional cases, and they're getting dirt dive certified. And, if you have the ability to help them out financially as well, I know they have an about page with a email address, which the email address is adventuringtheozarks2022@gmail.com. Get a hold of them. If you happen to be, from time to time, people have gotten a hold of us that said, hey, I have a lost love, or not a lost love, but I have a loved one that's no longer with us. I've got some dive gear, or I bought this dive gear and, I haven't used it. It needs to go to good cause. Reach out to Josh and Shannon if you have any of that, and let's, help them get some additional, the gear that they need, dive tanks, anything dive related. They don't even know what they need yet, but at least reach out to them and let them know that, you're there to help them out and support them as well. Real quick, let's pick a winner for this shirt, and then we'll go into more of this. Let's see, that one right there, Leslie Lacombe. Did I say that right? Leslie, you are the winner of a new What's Your Purpose shirt. I love this. Listen, if you are an introvert, do not wear this shirt out in public. Okay, people will talk to you. So introverts, do not get the shirt. If you are an introvert and you're with an extrovert, don't let them wear the shirt in public while you are around. Okay. So anyway, Leslie, email me support@adventureswithpurpose.com. Let me know that you are the winner of the shirt. Send me your address, and we'll make sure that you get that shirt. And then the other one was, I got to write this down, Caroline Howell. Make sure that you email me as well. We'll give away another shirt. We'll give away the magnet kit in a few, but I do want to use this, time to talk to you, to, those that are looking to get into this with your own boots on the ground. Whether you have equipment or you don't, what can you do? And part of that is just being aware of what's going on within your community. Let's take, Ralph Brown as an example. We've now found him. It took us 10 searches to find him, but coming back to, let's say that we were not a part of it. Let's say that you just simply lived in the community and you were one of those 200 plus that got together and went out and stomped the bushes looking for Ralph, driving the roads. But now here's the thing about AWP and the entire movement is starting to think outside the box. As you guys see, we focus on if a person has gone missing and they have a vehicle that's not been found, where can you hide a vehicle? Yeah, some people are like, well, you can hide a vehicle in the bushes and the weeds and, or in a shed or whatever. 100% true. As is the case with Virginia Collier. She had dementia and she was missing for 3 years until some rabbit hunters found her in her vehicle or near her vehicle 3 years later. And so, yes, so could Ralph and could others be in their vehicle and not found for a couple of years? 100%. We know it can happen. But more often than not, that we're finding is these vehicles are underwater. And so you don't have any access to sonar. You don't have any of that, but you do know that this person is missing. Start reaching out to some of these bass fishing groups, some of the fishermen that are in the area, even just going down to the docks and just waiting for the fishermen to start putting in the water, find out who's running sonar. And hey, we're looking for Ralph. We have a last cell phone ping in this area. Can you take the next 5 minutes for me and run this pattern? And what's the pattern? The pattern should be straight out from the boat ramp and really come out, 35, 40 feet and go downriver and search that for the next, 100, 200, 300 yards. If it's a fast moving river like the Missouri River, go down 700, 800 yards. But just ask them for a few moments of their time to turn on their side scan, turn on their live scope. And you right there, even though you don't have the equipment, you're making a difference right there with the hopes of maybe Ralph would have been found sooner. Maybe some of these other cases will be solved because you simply put the ball in motion. Now, let's say a vehicle is identified, whether you have the equipment or you've asked somebody to do it, and they're like, yeah, there's something here. It looks like a car. And you don't have the diving experience. Well, one is we already know that somebody is missing in this instance. And so at that moment in time is, contact the law enforcement, the detective that working the case. Every case has like a case number usually and a phone number of, tips. Let them know a vehicle has been identified right here in this location. And more often than not, when a person is missing, they're going to bring a dive team in right away to figure out, is this who we're looking for? But if for some reason, your community is small, the local agency doesn't have the resources, contact a local dive shop. You jump on Facebook Messenger, Facebook groups or whatever. Look for divers. Divers are always looking for a reason to get in the water. Hey, we have a missing person in the area. I have a boater that is identified on sonar that we have a potential target. I think it's a vehicle. I can't find a local diver, a dive team. Can you come help me out? The thing about we as humans is that somebody comes to you and says, Josh, I need your help. Here's what I have going on. Will you help me? People seem to be inclined. It seems like, we've lost faith in humanity, but at the end of the day, people are inclined to, yeah, I'll help you out. It's much different than somebody I don't know the reason why, but, it's much different than somebody standing on the street corner of, and begging for change. We've just become so accustomed to that. But if you have a lost loved one or a family has a lost loved one, they're able to relate to that. Not everybody can relate to being a bum and living on the streets. I can. I've been homeless. I've lived on the streets. I've eaten out of garbage cans. I slept in hotel stairwells. I was homeless for a year and a half. I mean, I was a bum who lived on the street. I never begged for food. The way I got my food was I ended up figuring out which hotels actually had room service. And then I would figure out, right about dinner time, then I would go through and I would collect all the leftovers from room service. And it was incredible. And my worst experience was then I had I was really hungry one day and I had just my little squirrel moment. I go off on little tangents here. But, my worst memory of it is having an incredible pizza. It was a nice big, almost an entire pizza. And then I slept out under the bushes that night, and the next morning the ants completely covered the pizza. But it's a couple ants, you brush them off, you're still good to go. But for me, I'm able to have that empathy and relate to that. Do I hand out money to those that are on the street corners? I never do. But I will take the time to if they appear to be hungry and malnutrition. Anyway, the word is I'll take the time to help them out and go grab some food for them. But again, but coming back to this is, an entire movement that's taking place that AWP is bringing awareness to, to all of this in a way that, we can help our neighbor. You've heard me say it before. I'm coming in, I'm helping you as a friend, as a neighbor, as a brother, as an uncle, as a dad, as a grandpa, hoping that somebody would help me or my family if I was in that position. So that's kind of where it's at. I have a lot more to say. So again, thank you everybody for hanging out with me. I'm getting hot just talking here, so I'm gonna take that little hoodie off there. Where do I want to go from here? Best ways to approach a case. So I guess that kind of like covers it. You know, that's an incredible way to approach a case for anybody to get involved. And then, you know, and simply sharing. If, you know, you see, you know, somebody missing in the area, you know, just simply share it, you know, across your platforms. Best YouTube practices. You know, if you guys are going to, you know, start recording a lot more, or anybody that wants to start recording, remember that at the end of the day, you know, this is not about putting a camera in somebody's face to get a reaction, so that way you can, you know, have a viral hit to put it on YouTube and do whatever. You know, one of the things I kind of hate is that, you know, we're classified as a YouTuber. You know, we are an organization. We're Adventure with Purpose. You know, we have a track record now of solving 23 missing persons cases. But I do kind of cringe every time the media is like, hey, YouTubers found. You know, and same thing in working with these families is I'm not coming into this as a YouTuber. I am a content creator for the purpose of using the platform to spread awareness, so that way the next family can find us in the same way that this family was able to find us, whether it was one of our viewers that reached out to us and told us about a case, or the family found out and was able to reach out to us directly. That we're so grateful with their participation in accepting and honoring us to, you know, put this out here to help the next family, because we are coming in and we are helping these families and we're helping the law enforcement for free. So a couple of things to keep in mind there. One thing that really helps is, you know, keep the cameras, you know, at least 6 feet back. When law enforcement shows up, don't even let them see the cameras when they first show up, because we live in a society to where they're so on edge already that they feel as though that they're intentionally sought after to try to get a trigger response because of some, you know, you've seen those terrible YouTube videos that just are out there to trigger the, you know, the men in blue, women in blue. So anyway, don't do that. And we've learned a lot over the years. You know, you can say, you know, Jared is a, you know, terrible person. He did this and he did that. I probably did. Okay. I've done a lot of wrong things in my development and growth with AWP, and I will continue to do bad things, the wrong things. I won't say bad things, the wrong things moving forward. I'm sure that not all of you will agree with. I listen to your input, and I will do my best to, you know, become better at certain things. Will I make all of you happy? Absolutely not. You know, have I learned to say supposedly instead of supposedly? Yeah, I'm getting better with my English. Okay. Do I stutter a lot less? Yes, I'm more conscientious about it. You know, will I still say crick instead of creek? Probably, just because it's like it's just my village. All right. It's just who I am, and I have no problem jumping the creek. Okay. So I hope that helps you guys out. You know, not just you guys, Josh and Shannon, but as well as the entire, you know, movement here. So that covers me. The kind of last thing that I had on my list, also working with law enforcement. We have to remember, in working with law enforcement, you have seen, again, coming back to, I may have done some of the wrong things in the beginning. I may have thrown some people under the bus at the wrong time when I should not have. Do I do that now? No, I've learned how to approach it differently, in that, you know, we're not the best at everything that we do, or sometimes we are better than some organizations, but we don't come into it with the arrogance of, we're better than you. You better step aside. You better let us, you know, handle this, because nobody is better than us. No, I say, we're here to offer up our services in any way that we can. You know, now that the vehicle has been identified, it's a crime scene, we're hands off. Call 911. Don't start breaking windows or anything. You know, here's who we are. Here's what we're capable of. If you need our services, we're here to assist you. If you just need us to consult on it, we're here to consult for you, you know, based upon our experience in pulling out hundreds of vehicles and, you know, recovering without losing contents of the vehicles. And, you know, we continue to get better at that. And as an example, on this last one, up in Yamhill County, when we found Ralph, yeah, it was working with law enforcement was incredible. They've seen us, they know the track record now, and they know that even though they have their own team, that we were much better suited to rig it underwater properly for proper recovery, and it went flawless. Will it go flawless every time? Absolutely not. You cannot account for the unaccountable. But the thing is, working with law enforcement, working with these agencies, you have to remember that we're coming into this as civilians. We're not carrying, the badges that say, I'm the sheriff of Michigan County, or I'm the sheriff here in Texas, and I'm taking control of this. We're coming into this again as civilians to help out a neighbor that needed help. And now we have these skills that if you need the skills, great. If not, no problem. We completely understand, and you cannot take it personally. And sometimes too, you're just simply coming into turf wars, to where even within the community, the different agencies, they have their own turf wars that are already going on before you even come in. You can imagine you coming in as an outsider and me coming in saying, all right, Josh, you're in construction and you build amazing houses, but I'm better at building houses than you are. So just step aside. Let me talk to your client right now, and I'm going to go ahead and finish building this house for him. And so you can imagine how quickly you're going to become very defensive. And so we no longer take that personally. Again, it's if we can help, great. If not, no problem. So that's kind of the rundown, and my it's not a rant. It's just the realism of the situation, and everyone is going to be different. You're going to meet a lot of families. Not every family is going to be on, want to be on camera, and that's no problem at all. We have a conversation. You've seen, sometimes we share on camera, like Samantha Hopper. You saw where we had a conversation with the family beforehand of, if there's anything you don't want on camera, let us know. If you want the cameras off, if you don't want to be involved in it, it's not a problem at all. We're first and foremost there for the families, and what can we do to help them out? That, everyone, is my spill on working with law enforcement and working with these families. And I guess I'm not done yet. I got one more thing with the families. Every family is going to be different. We have found, as we have worked a lot of these cases, is in the beginning, we're talking, the first, couple days, the first couple weeks, the first couple months, even, 3-4 years into it, some families are just not yet ready for you to offer up your help and assistance. And you have to be okay with that. And you have to kind of choose which cases that you will take on at what times. As an example, Jed Hall, that one we knew about a year and a half earlier. But at that time also, mom wasn't ready. Mom wasn't even ready, when we did find Jed. But she was very gracious in accommodating that we were coming to town. She was very gracious in coming out and chatting with us and being involved that day. But she still wasn't ready. And so if you are going to work with families, you have to be able to, have the empathy and to be there, as another family member with the heart to help out. That you're not coming into this, again, to put them on display or to have the camera in their face or to be, look at us. So amazing as we do in court, everything. So it's about, all right, I'm still there. And the other thing that you'll notice in our videos also is that, we don't stick around afterwards. The vehicle comes out, is on the vehicle. And in the very beginning, is where I learned this, is that going back like the next day to have a conversation with the family, was a very awkward thing, because now it became about us rather than what it is that just took place earlier, and giving them their space and their time to move forward in what has to take place at that time with their own healing process that begins at that moment, that they now have the answers, that they're no longer wondering where their loved one is. They now have them home, and Are we still on? Yeah, we're still on. You know, they now still have them home and they're able to, you know, begin that healing process. So a lot of things that you're going to learn. And those of you who are watching that, you know, are, you know, thinking about becoming, involved in the AWP movement, starting an organization of your own, you know, you have all those to think about. Now I'm done with that part. Should we give away a magnet kit now? I'm sorry. Let me give you some space because people always say, Jared, you always talk and you never let anybody else talk. So let me give you guys your platform and then let's give away a magnet and then we'll have a few more words and then I'll answer some questions and I'll pick out a winner for that and all that good stuff. So here goes Jared. Go ahead.
Well, I guess we could talk about some future plans that we have for the channel. Definitely, we want to learn more hands-on with other people who have more experience than we do. So the other teams in the community, like Jacob and Nug and Adam Brown and Depths of History, definitely interested in any kind of open invitations for us to come out and learn more of the process and be more hands-on, so that way we can gain more experience from more experienced people. Like Jared said, you know, our scuba shirts are coming up this weekend. We're hoping to get some gear to go along with that, so that way we don't have to go into our certifications and rental gear, which Bonnie kind of warned us about that, but you know, that's why it's rental gear. Jared touched on also, we're going to get a camper tomorrow, so that way when we get on the road, we won't have to worry about hotels or other things like that, other extra costs that we don't need. And right now, quite honestly, that we can't afford. Definitely looking at upgrading our sonar for the higher capabilities while we're on the water. Some live scope would be in a good interest too. But again, that's going to come further as we learn more and more about the equipment that we're using and we're ready to upgrade. But sonar's tricky. I was talking to Jacob last night, and there's some things that you could go over, and it may look like vegetation or it may look like a rock, and you think it looks like a car, but at the same time, nobody's going to be able to know until we get down there and actually, you know, if we're able to drop a magnet on it and get down and look at it. So a lot of you guys have made comments about editing and not being able to hear as well. So we are looking at different editing programs and upgrading equipment to where we can be able to put out better quality videos and you guys will be able to hear us with no problems. Other than that, I mean, that's just about where we're at. We have a will and a want to get out and look for these missing peoples and bring these families answers.
Well, I appreciate you guys joining the the movement and starting your own Adventuring the Ozarks. And again, those of you who have not clicked on the link in the description to do so, head over to their YouTube channel and subscribe to them. The magnet kit, let's give that away. Start talking about the movement. We appreciate you being a part of it. Let's do a hashtag AWP Movement, and I will pick out a winner in just a few moments on that one. So do hashtag AWP Movement, and then let's give out one more What's Your Purpose shirt. And I want to make sure that I get you guys some AW or some What's Your Purpose shirts as well, because you guys don't have those ones yet, do you? I give you guys some hats, but all right. So we'll get you guys some What's Your Purpose shirts, and those of you who do not win, we have a limited supply right now of the What's Your Purpose shirt. So make sure that you stop by adventureswithpurpose.com, because every purchase over there helps us get out on the road. We now have a second RV that we have now picked up. We have a second trailer that we're in the process of picking up and building out. We're going to have 4 to 5 divers on the road full time, as well as 2, 4. I'm losing track. I mean, this thing has grown and it's incredible. And I appreciate each and every one of you for helping all this grow. All right, we're going to pick out a. Sorry.
Did you guys get more window breakers in, the 2-in-1
cutters and bricks?
You know, we have those, but here's the issue with it is that we have a unscrupulous competitor on that one who is causing us some issues. They do not hold a patent on it. They do not hold a trademark on it. However, they're holding themselves out to some of these sales platforms as though they do. We unfortunately are in a lawsuit with them, and we are going to win. So, but it is going to take a little bit of time, but we have been moving forward with that one. So that way we can use that to further fund, you know, the movement as well. In way of a winner for the magnet kit, here we go. I'm going to hit the mouse button. It's going to scroll. It's going to stop somewhere. And where it stops on Michael Sterling. Hashtag AWP Movement. So Michael Sterling, if you can send me, here we go, here you are. If that is you, send me an email, support@adventureswithpurpose.com, and we will get you a magnet kit. We'll give away one more shirt, and while we're giving away that other shirt, let's answer a couple of questions here for everyone. And these can be questions either to Josh and Shannon or myself, but go ahead and drop. Let us know that you would like that do hashtag last shirt. Do that. So hashtag last shirt. I'll pick a winner from there. And I'm looking for questions right now as well. If you have a question, do a QQQ and your question. And let me see what I can do to answer a couple of questions for you. I'm writing down Michael here. So Michael, send me an email to support@adventureswithpurpose.com. And feel free to jump in anytime you guys want, if any more questions or answers or whatever it is that you want. Question, why does it take, where was that question at? I said, why does it take so long? And then it moves along. Oh, wait, here we go. Why does it take you so long to release videos? Right now, you have to remember, when we go on the road, we are working a new case every single day that we're on the road. It's very rare that we do get a day off. So in a 35, 40-day period, we might have 2 days off. It takes for every video that we have filmed, one video, 1 day, one edit. But it takes the editor 32 to 40 hours to edit that one single day, that one video. And so we currently have 45 videos, 45 cases that we have not yet released yet because we have a backlog of the raw footage for the editors to edit. Right now we have 2 editors working full-time on that. So that's why it takes so long. Looking for more questions here. Last shirt. Let's give away the last shirt. I see. Welcome, Josh and Shannon. Somebody says, last shirt. Let's give it to, here we go, Delilah Collins. You are the winner of the last AWP or the What's Your Purpose shirt today. Those of you who did not win a What's Your Purpose shirt, jump over. We have a limited supply of them right now. And those of you who have been following us for any amount of time, you'll notice that when we do release shirts, we only have a limited supply. So anything that you see online right now, the Adventures with Purpose shirts and hoodies, these ones, the crack logo design, those are always in stock. So we're always carrying those. But as far as the specialty designs like you see on this one, you can no longer get this one, but we do have it in green right now. So do go check out that shirt as well. Anyway, I'm going to write down Delilah and then answer a few more questions, and then we're off for the day. We have a lot more to do. All right, question. Jared, is your dear wife ready for you to get out more? Yes. So listen on that one. Her and I, we had a very real conversation the other day, and it went like this. Are you going to miss me when I'm gone on the next trip? And it was kind of a, does Josh's wife miss him when he's gone? Or Doug's wife is, really happy when he's gone because the house is less chaotic and it's cleaner. And, and what wife really says, I would love to have my husband home 365 days a year. Listen, she evidently opened up the playbook of whatever it is that, you know, you spouses, female spouses have, and let me in on a little secret in that, you know, not all of you want us around all the time. She says, not any of you want us around all the time. So she says that it's nice when we're gone, but she's always happy to have us home. So that was the conversation that took place. Anyway, love her to death. Out of all the relationships that are out there, I would say that, you know, I told her, you know, we're in the 95% percentile of amazing relationship. I love her. She's my best friend, and we love hanging out. How about coming to Tennessee for a meet and greet? The thing about meet and greets, I have a hard time with them, and and Jacob, I know you're on here, and I'm not throwing Jacob under the bus or even focusing on him or anything. I'm just focusing on myself here because I know that he just did one. It was amazing. He had like 100 people there or so. The thing about that is that in my mind, if I take time to stop and do a meet and greet for the day, I just took away the ability to go help the next family in need while I am on the road for a limited period of time while I'm away from my own family. That I'm then turning into a look at Jared, look at the Jared show. And that's not what this is about. This is about the AWP movement. And so I really struggle with that. And I really appreciate each and every one of you that says, you know, that you want to come out, you want to participate, you want to, you know, hang out with us. But I can't have you doing so on the days that we're doing cases with these families. And then I also can't have you doing on the days that we're not, because then that's either our downtime, we're doing laundry, or we're moving on to the next one. And I can't take that downtime, again, coming back to, I could have been helping a family out that day. And so this is why I really, 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 really struggle, because all of you are the ones that put us in this position to do so. I don't have a solution for it. And maybe that's why you get me for an hour on a live stream from time to time. That way everybody can participate. What's your thoughts on that, Josh?
That is definitely an interesting point of view. But I mean, being on the platform that we are on, or that you guys are on, and we're kind of mimicking after you, there's always time to take time for the people who are supporting you and want to know a little bit more about you. And if they have the ability to come out, like the meetup in Steubenville with Chaos and Depths of History, then absolutely take the time. But I totally understand your point. You guys made it weird. So just the fact that you have the ability to admit that it's going to take too much time away from the next case.
Yeah, but what I do invite everyone, and I don't want, you know, and again, I don't want to be like, you know, Jared's, you know, a terrible person. He hates everybody that supports him. No, not at all. Find me at a gas station or while I'm at dinner, or that doesn't matter. I welcome that. Come up, say hi, take pictures if you want. If you don't want to take pictures, that's fine. You just whatever. We love it. It's just the days that we're working and we're on the road is just very. Like we're so focused. So other than that, what you see on video and what you see here, I mean, it is who we are. So we love chatting and we appreciate all the support from each and every one of you. People want to know, Josh and Shannon, do you guys have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do. It is up under Adventuring the Ozarks, and I don't even think we have the ability to put in a link anywhere. So if one of the moderators knows the page or can bring up a link to the page, we appreciate that.
And do you have that link over on your Facebook page, or I'm sorry, on your YouTube channel by chance? Is that up yet?
But that's a good point.
Okay.
No.
So you can go in and you can put a link up at the top. You can also put it in your about section and start putting it in your description as well. Next question. Will we be coming back to Florida anytime soon? Right now for our August and then our September and October fall trip, we're going to be working the northern part of the U.S. while the weather is starting to turn. Florida probably will not happen again until January, February. Let's see. Will you be going back to continue the search for Randy Leach? Yes, provided we get ourselves a magnetometer. So will it happen this season? I don't think so. It could. but I'm not quite sure. Speaking of also moving the teams across the U.S., and as we're doing it as well, we're going to have the two teams. They're going to be working two separate cases. They're going to be working separate cases as they're moving, but they're going to be moving in unison across the U.S. So that way they're always within a couple of hours of one another, just in case we need to go support ourselves. So, and speaking of supporting, real quick, we're going to do in a week or two, we're going to get into a nice big fundraising and a big shout out to people like Axel over in Cleveland, Ohio, who has a transport business, who was able to transport that hub that we needed for the RV from Kansas down to Kentucky. We're going to do a big shout out to Keen and their truck repair business, a beautiful family business down there in Culver City. So if you're ever going through Culver City, Kentucky, and you break down, hit up the Keens and the Keen family, and I'll talk about them by name in the next couple of weeks as we're doing a big shout out and some fundraiser stuff coming up. So I appreciate you guys tolerating my fundraising episodes later on. Let's do 2 more questions and then we'll hoodies with zippers. Yes, we do have some hoodies with zippers. So we have both hoodie pullovers as well as zip ups. And thank you, Jared, for answering my question. I don't see. Oh, here's a QQ. Have you been to Louisiana searching for anyone? Is Shreveport in Louisiana? I think that's where it's at. Yes, we have been to Louisiana looking for Ernest Franklin. Is that his name? One of our most recent videos, like 2-3 weeks ago, we put one up. So do check that one out. And the last one is, do you remember the comment on your videos, even though you may not answer? Do you really care about reading the comments? Do you read the comments? So I scan the comments. I do. Do I read them all? No, there are, you have to remember we have over 400 videos and I cannot go click on every single video. So what I normally do is I normally watch the comments the first couple of hours throughout the day, but we do have other moderators that go in there, and then anything of a significance, they try to let me know. But if it's something that's like really important, especially case related, be sure to send us an email, support@adventuresofthepurpose.com. So while we have 15 million plus viewers a month and thousands and thousands and thousands of comments, comes back to does Jared do meet and greets? I mean, I just simply do not have the hours in the day to do everything all by myself. And I think I did a last count, and in order to keep the wheels turning and everybody here just directly involved here at Adventures with Purpose, we have 13 or 14 people now that are full-time making this work. And the numbers kind of break down to, we got the 2 divers in each RV. So there's 4 divers plus I'm floating between the 2 of those. So there's 5 divers. Plus we have the 4 camera guys. Plus we have 3 editors. I'm running out of fingers there. So 3 editors. And then I got my wife and her sister and my daughter doing merch. I've got another sister-in-law that's doing most of the comments, as well as the other sister and my wife, as well as emails. And then we got Peter, and then we got Dylan from time to time, but he's part-time. So that's frick. Okay. So here's a thing for that I need you guys to help me out too. When you guys say, the trolls and everything else that, want to be like, oh, Jared's just greedy and he's keeping all the money to himself. And listen, I'm still living in the same house I've had for the last 21 years, driving a 1990 pickup truck, reinvesting these funds wisely back into growing the organization, the business. So that way we can get out there and help these families for no charge to them. Do we got to eat at the end of the day? Yeah. We put money in our pockets. That's it. This is a job for us. So 100%, but I have this year, some of you already know this, I've said it before, we have a budget of 1.1 million this year that this organization has turned into. And it's because of you that simply watch the videos. It's free to watch. It's free to subscribe. And we get half a cent sometimes for every one of those views. And it helps us out. But in addition to that, it's very important that, those of you that do have the financial means, we appreciate you reaching in your pocket, becoming a member. $5 a month, 10, 25, 100, all of that helps out. Merchandise, the one-time donations on adventureswithpurpose.com, a recurring donation. There's so many ways that you can help out, that at whatever level you're at, we appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of this with us, that it's not just the 17 people that we just, added up right here that make Adventures with Purpose right here works. It's the entire movement of, now we got Josh and Shannon there. We've got, Jacob with Lindsay, and Eric from time to time that's teamed up with Britt, with the Nug that's teamed up with Adam, that's, the River Boys, and the Magnetic up in Canada, and Down Under Dan, who's going to be joining us on the road in September for, 2 or 3 weeks. It's incredible what this entire movement, where it started with just one guy. And my daughter, Kiki, the camera girl, who tolerated the dad jokes with my wife out there in the local rivers, cleaning up sunglasses and pop cans, and simply listening to those who needed help and saying yes when they said, we have a lost loved one underwater in a car. Can you help us out? And that all of you got behind it and supported it as an entire tribe, as an entire family to the AWP movement, and being a part of this with us, that, we could not be doing it without each and every one of you. So thank you very much, Shannon, Josh, and each and every one of you for being a part of this with us. This is what it is now.
It's an honor for us to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. That's I'm gonna go ahead. I don't even know. Oh, high current comment. There we go. So there's a lot of cases that we do want to get back to. There's a lot of new cases that we're going to be working. Like I said, 120 to 130 brand new cases, new families that we're going to be helping this next year because of you guys. Thank you. That's it. Signing off now. We'll see everybody later. Bye-bye.